taking a step back, taking some deep breaths, putting the phones away. I grew up around plenty of Caucasian friends, family members. I lived in the city of Boston, and I went to school in a town called Sudbury, Mass., which is a pretty affluent community. As part of this program to integrate, children, to give inner city kids a better education, better opportunity, as well as to offer, Caucasian kids sort of more diversity and understanding. And my family members are from the South. They grew up in segregated schools. My parents, right, segregated communities. This is how it was. And, they met in Boston. And so they didn't want that for me. And they didn't want to pass on lots of anger or any sort of hatred that they may have experienced when they were growing up. There's a long history that we have in our country, in the world, right? And, we have to be able to learn from it, but I can't live there. I can't live in the past, right? We're in the present. We're dealing with some hard issues that we have to confront. But we have to have for me, a positive outlook. It keeps the energy up. It keeps keeps you going on a daily basis, because we do live in a country where we have tremendous amounts of opportunity. And so to me, a positive outlook, being a realist is important, but the optimism is just like, hey, we're going to figure this out, right? No matter what, we have done some great things as a country, but we also have to confront the fact that we've done some terrible things as a country, right? Okay, and it's okay. Definitely learn from the past. We're living in the present, but we have to look to the future and make things better for ourselves, our kids, and beyond.
Yeah, I love that. And I think so often, even right now with meditation taking off, right? Everyone's trying so hard to focus on the present that we're not even looking to the past to learn anything, and we're not setting goals for the future. And I'm even speaking for myself too. Like, I've been doing that for years, and now that I finally have a good semblance of being in the moment, I'm realizing I'm not planning for the future. I'm not learning from my mistakes. I'm just here, And I think that the past, present, and future, they all serve a good purpose.
It's important. It goes like goals, right? It's like, lots of people are just kind of rolling through this life, and don't have goals, don't have a way to measure, what they're trying to be or trying to do, whether it's in business or as your family or anything, right? And you're right. It's like taking a step back, taking some deep breaths, putting the phones away, like putting the devices down, right? I mean, I'm hooked. Everyone's hooked. I'm trying to just put it down, just relax and have some thought about, again, some reflection on what where you are. Are you on track for what you're looking to do? Folks in, for example, the African American community, right? So there's many people there. Like, I've talked to kids, and I ask these kids, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And almost all the boys are professional athlete, whether it was football or basketball or baseball. And I'm like, great. I played, Division I athletics and football. That was great. It was a great experience. But that's not all I was able to do, right? Like, that doesn't last forever. And so I have to be able to go back to these communities and look at these communities and say, look, you may not know how, outside of athletics, because this is what you see, you may not know how to have the bridge to opportunity the same way that I might have had, right? If I went to an affluent school, I have connections, I leverage those connections, and I've never received a job or never gotten a job through the internet, right? Or through sending my resume somewhere. It's always through connections. I know how to navigate water, right? But sometimes folks don't know how. I was privileged with the opportunity to go to school in Sudbury, and with that, create those kind of connections and have a positive attitude and positive outlook. But not everyone gets that opportunity. And so it took me till I was probably 30 to say, I was privileged. Oh my goodness. I was actually privileged. I had a lot of opportunity and didn't really think about it that way. So my outlook shifted from just pick yourself up from your bootstraps and make it happen, which I still very much believe in. But it also shifted to, you might not know how, you might not have the same bridge that I did. So let me show you. Let me teach you that.
I completely agree with you. I mean, connecting is everything, and leveraging your network when the time comes. It's a two-way street, first off, right? Like, they can lean on you and you can lean on them. But it has to be when the time comes. You can't only reach out to someone when you need something. You need to be building your relationship currency throughout, right? Like have that rapport. When you think of someone, send them whatever you're thinking about. Like don't have it be this awkward thing where you're just asking for a job every 6 months or every year and a half, because you're going to burn that bridge pretty quickly.
The ability to be a good connector, be somebody that adds value, you will typically not want for anything, right? You will typically get the things you want because people will make sure of you. There's no guarantee on who exactly, right? We've all heard this. There's no guarantee, but I reiterate to always figure out a way to add value and do it as early as you can, as often as you can. And I think you'll go through this life having a lot of the things that you want.